Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is the first video in my track building tutorial series, and this is going to be a little series that's split up into maybe 4, 5, 6 different parts. They're not going to be super long videos, they'll be kind of bite-sized chunks, easy to digest, easy to follow, and I thought it'd be nice just to have everything in one place, because a lot of, I guess, help and information about at least modern track building tutorials and ways of going about doing things it's all over the place really. It's like some videos on one channel, some videos on another, and I thought it'd be nice just to have it all in one place, easy to follow, nice and concise, and this will be nice and edited together, so it won't be super long. And this is going to be episode 1, which is purely going to be downloading and installing everything that you need ahead of time, so resource materials and programs. This will be before you even touch Photoshop or GIMP or Blender or anything like that, before you even consider building the track. This will be the raw files that you need to get you started. Now, all of the links that you need will be in the description in the order that they appear in the video as well. And I want to give the biggest shout out imaginable to this man right here, Resolute Kraken. He has created this amazing track builder tool for all of us. So you haven't got to do all of the hard work with making all the files and merging them together. This tool does it all for you. You plop all your stuff in there that you've made, you press the build button, it builds it all, you get a track. So big respects to this man. So first and foremost, this link will be in the description as well on the MX Bikes forums. You will want to download the user manual. I know we all hate user manuals. I promise you it is worth going through this and having a quick skim through before you even begin. It tells you absolutely everything about everything. It is the holy grail when it comes to track building. Obviously, massive W's for Resolute. However, if we scroll down in this track builder right here, onto page number 3, we have a section here called prerequisites. And this is what you want to do before you do anything else at all. There'll be a few downloads here, which again, I will link in the description as you need them. But if you've downloaded this track builder helper and you come onto here, you can simply just click and they'll start downloading. So this is all the Paboso documentation. He goes into more detail about things like having collisions on hay bales and stuff like that, and varying levels of collisions and soil types, etc. You don't have to go through this section, or if you want to be more knowledgeable or more clued up beforehand, you're more than welcome to. However, if we go down to this part right here about downloading track tools, I will start that download straight away. You also need to download this one here, the conversion tools. Download that one too. And then finally, you need to download the example track. All these things will come in handy in a second, and he's also provided links to TFC's channel and Nico's channel. They also have tutorials on track building. If you prefer staying here, then by all means do so. I'll break it up into separate parts, but let's go and extract those files. So I'm going to need you to make a track building folder. I already have one. However, for this video, I've gone through and deleted majority of the content, so I'm going to do it again. There's updates to Resolute Kraken's track builder every now and then, so sometimes it helps going through and just redoing things. So I'm going to create a new folder, and for me, I'm going to call it tutorial track building. You may call it whatever your heart desires. However, this is going to be where you want to store all of your things. So if I go over to my downloads, these are the 3 things that we've just downloaded. We've got TT, CT, and MXB sample track. Right now, I want to open TT and CT. So I'm going to open it with WinRAR, and it will be here. Alternatively, you can press Extract All. I'm going to copy these 3 objects here. I am going to go back into my track building folder that I've just created, and I'm just going to paste them in. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing with my CT, open it with WinRAR. Now, we don't need both of these. We only need FBX to EDF. We do not need the plugins one. I believe that more comes into play for some of both those other games. So we're going to then copy and paste this one over into here as well, which is not done. Let's do Control Copy and Control Paste. So we now have these 4 folders in our track building folder. We've got FBX to EDF, we've got Map View, we've got Terrained, and we've got Tracked. Now that we have our 4 folders extracted or moved to where they need to be, we can now go over back to the MX Bikes forums to actually download the track builder helper itself. So if we scroll all the way down to this download MediaFire button right here, it will pop up. We will hit download, and that will appear in our downloads in just a short second. And now that it's in our downloads, we can go ahead and we can extract this. So if you right click and press extract all, and I'm going to find the exact same file location that I was just using. So for me, this is tutorial track building, whatever you called it, you'd put it in there. And I will go to select folder, and I will just press extract. So now that we've extracted it into this folder here, we will open this up and click on setup. And this is going to be basically where it asks you where do you want to install it. So for me, I am quite happy having it in exactly the same file location, track builder helper. Although what I want to do is go back one. So we are going to select, for me, it'll be program C, it'll be under YouTube, it'll be tutorial track building. I just want it in here in general. I don't need it inside the track builder helper installer folder. I just want it chilling here, and I'll press OK, and then we'll do next, and that is now installing. So this should now be installed on your computer, which it is, and I believe also it should now be on your desktop. Very messy desktop aside, I do apologize. It has been added to my desktop here. So if I right click it and I can pin it to my taskbar, I now have it at the very bottom of my screen to use always. So if we go ahead and click on that, this will now be taking us through our very first run of this program. And this is where those files that you installed earlier are going to come in handy, because it's going to ask where they're located, put everything together nice and easy for you. So we're going to press on next. Now, this is where we go to select the file locations for all of these. So we have already downloaded Terrained, we've downloaded Tracked, we've downloaded MapView, and we've downloaded FBX to EDF. We just have to select where they're actually located. So you can do all of these one at a time. Terrained.exe. If I go to the folder that we created, we have got Terrained right there, and we'll open it up, click on the exe, it'll put it in here for us. Do the same for Tracked as well. Do the same for map view, and then finally the same for FBX to EDF, and that is them all located, so the program knows where to look for these tools when the time comes to use them. We will press next. So right here we have got to press the finish button to create our very first project. So in the top left here, we go to File and we go to New. This is taking us through creating our very first project. Not a track as such, but the folders and locations for where this track will exist. So we're going to press Next. The name of your project I find to be quite important. It can be a bit of a pain and a hassle to change things after the fact, at least for me in experience. So let's say you wanted to make a replica track. Let's say that you was going to do, for me today, I'm going to do an arena cross track. So I've been doing the Arena Cross series recently. This video is going to go through making one of those. So I'm going to call it, it's going to be UKAX for UK Arena Cross. And this one for me will be round number 3. And it is in Aberdeen. So I find that I prefer not putting spaces or anything in my project tiles just for ease. So I just do it all as one word. And the reason I've named it like this is it just follows the naming convention that I've done previously. I've done UKX round 1. I've done UKX round 2, and now I'm doing UKX round 3. So next, and select the folder for your project. So we're going to go to select, and this is, I call it exactly the same thing. I need to actually try and find where this is located. So this PC, I've put it in YouTube, and I've put it in tutorial track building. So this has not got to be in the same file you created. You can have a separate file if you want that is just called tracks. So for me, I have a folder here called track building. I have a folder called tracks, and you can see I've got some of my previous work. So I've got round 1 Manchester, I've got round 2 Belfast, I've got round 5 Wembley. So I'm actually going to put it inside here. So I've got track selected. I'm going to make a new folder, and again, I'm going to call it UK AX round 3 Aberdeen. So these locations do not matter. It is just for your ease. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to press next. And now the final step that we have here is Praboso has very particular ways he likes things being named. So for example, textures, which is the way your ground looks, for some reason the default folder is called maps. I don't like that. I rename it to textures, so I know exactly what it is. Masks is where your textures appear. Models are hay bales, start, finish lines, all that good stuff, and have all this pre-selected for you. If you go down to the very bottom here, where it says mod/track folder for testing, this is going to direct you in to your Praboso folder. So if I go to Documents and I go to Praboso, I go to MX Bikes, I go to Mods and Tracks, this will be usually where you insert tracks in the game. So whatever folder you like, you can make a new one if you wish. Mine's going to go into UKAX because this is where my other tracks are. I'm going to press OK on that. What this does is further along the line, as you're building tracks and like adding textures and uh, objects and all this good stuff, and you build it to kind of merge everything together to test your track out, it will automatically put that track in your game for you. You haven't got to keep going and dragging and replacing over and over again. So a massive W on the tool there. And obviously this can be wherever you want it to be. You can make your own folders, you can call it whatever you want, but that is where my test tracks are located for me in my game. And that is it. We've now got the finish button and it will pop up with this lovely screen and we can walk through a few things here. So we'll start on the right hand side. I will actually move my face cam. So going down the right hand side here, we've got a few things. We have got height map, which is where you will place your like PSD file, GIMP file, Blender file, whatever it may be. It has to be in a PNG format. We'll go through all this at a later date. Map scale is how like long, wide, and tall your map is. Meters, like X and Z axis, is horizontal and vertical. If you're looking like from a top-down view, it's how wide and tall the map is, and scale is how high the map is. So if you have a very, very tall mountain on your map that is, say, like 100 meters in height, then you would put in 100 meters. If you have a very, very tiny map, maybe you're making a track for pit bikes, it's really, really small, maybe 4 or 5 meters is the highest jump. We'll explain that further along. The center lines is all to do with timing. We'll cover that in its own video. And then these buttons down here are some very important ones, which we'll cover later along with like writing files, building the files, if you want to choose to build with or without shadows, which will kind of speed up and slow down the process. And at the very bottom right here, we've got the tools section. Now, you remember earlier we downloaded and had those 4 files that we've then selected. We had Tracked, which is track editor. We had map view, FPX2EDF. It's all down here. So the tool has put it all in one convenient place for us. If we go along the top, at the very top left here, we actually have a tutorials section, which is a newer feature to the program, which has all different YouTube videos. There's stuff by using a different software for creating height maps called Dalen Leveler by Red Rider. There is stuff for doing timing gates created by Jesse. There's all sorts of things in here. This Blender tutorial by Agitato I found to be very helpful. I've watched it many, many times, although I'm going to try and recreate my own one as well and see how that goes. And a whole bunch of videos from TFC, even more videos by TFC, and it all depends what programs you use as to what videos you will find helpful. But yeah, that is up there if you want to read through it. Scrolling along the top here, we've got textures, materials, scenes, so on and so forth. If you want to read up a little bit more about what each of these sectors do, then if you come back over to your track builder manual here and you go all the way up to the contents, you'll see if I scroll down, we have got materials, we've got scenes, we've got surface area, lighting and shadows, and they perfectly correlate to everything along the top. So have a little read through that manual. It will tell you all the information that you need. But for right now, your job is done. You've got it installed and you are ready to go. So that will wrap it up for part 1. What I will be doing in part 2 is showing you how to start working on a height map for your game. So how to actually start building the jumps and berms and whatever it is that you're interested in. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in episode number 2.